Hey, this is Billy Childs from Brittany Fox, and you're listening to the Cosmick Voice.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
This is the Cosmick Voice. Cosmic Voice. Music, talk, and nothing but business with your hosts, Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cosmic Voice. This is Season 8, Episode 3. I am here with my co-host, Chris Natalini.
Hello, everybody.
And I am Mick Michaels. Welcome back, everyone, to another show. Chris, how are you, sir?
What's up, Mick? I am doing fantastic.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Here we are, man. Episode 3 already.
Already,
man. And then before you know it, it's the end of the season, and I'll see you in another 6 months. See ya.
But during this time, I'm going to enjoy it.
That's it, man. You take it as it comes. Enjoy the moments the best you can, because tomorrow may never come.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
What they say.
And at this age, when you start thinking about it, you're like, yeah, I guess you're right.
I'm telling you, bro.
And the longer we're in the music business, the less tomorrow comes.
That's right, man. That's right. You know, it's super funny because at the time of recording this, I just had my wills done.
Oh.
Me and my wife. Yeah, and I've never done that before. And I'm like, man, am I at this age where I have to think about wills?
Oh, yeah. They recommend that every major event in your life, or what you feel may be a milestone, you should update your will. So, like the birth or death of someone, buying of a house, buying of a vehicle, new stock, change of employment, buying of a new pair of shoes, you know, going to a David Lee Roth concert, you know, anything like that, you may need to update.
In case you get stampeded to death.
That's right. You may need to update your will. Yeah, listen, and that's a whole nother business, not that I have any real knowledge about it, though I've been involved in it. Like, you can go into estate planning and trust funds and, you know, what charity you want to give all your money to, and leave it with your pet. As long as they have cable TV, they should be good. You know, there's all that stuff to think about. Who gets your goldfish? You know, who's going to get your record and action figure collection? I mean, that's...
That's right.
That's important.
Right. That's right. It is important, man. It is. I need to know where that stuff goes when I'm gone.
That's right. That's right. So there's a lot to think about, guys. A lot to think about. Like, who's going to get my podcast equipment after I'm gone?
Right. Yes.
I'm sure my children will take it right to the dump.
Let me tell you, bro, like, all kidding aside, you know, we've all been, and I should say we all, but I'm sure some of our listeners have, you know, been through something where their loved ones or partners, whatever, God forbid, you know, didn't have a will. And I've been through 2 deaths in the past, you know, handful of years where one person didn't have a will and one person did have a will. And the difference is unbelievable. You know, because then you have to deal with the state, and, you know, it doesn't matter where you're listening from. Dealing with any state is craziness. At the time of recording this, me and my wife are about to head on a big trip. So we say, you know what, let's just do this. God forbid something happens. You know, we have everything already laid out, and you know, it'll be easy for whoever has to come and empty out this crib.
Yeah. That's it, the Cosmic Voice, where you get your information on death and dismemberment.
That's right. Listen, man, we haven't talked about Kiss or Christmas yet, so we're golden. Mick Michaels is getting all my Star Wars and my podcast equipment.
I love it.
And all my Star Wars stuff.
Sign me up.
But yes, man, here we are, episode 3. I love it.
Rolling in. What's been going on with you, man?
Nothing, dude. Nothing. It's like I said the last episode, man. You know, I'm just in this eternal search for other musicians for both bands. I have another buddy of mine. I don't know if I said this in the last episode. I have another buddy of mine who's also looking for a drummer, and he's having just as hard of a time, and it's really difficult, man. Like I've literally been now. I'm kind of getting out of our general area, the tri-state, and kind of moving towards like northern New Jersey into New York, right? Because when I was with my former band, I was traveling, to rehearsal. And I'm just hoping if I can find someone that's that committed that, even if we have to go up, even if we find someone that's kind of closer to New York, doesn't even have to be New York, could be just upper North Jersey, Trenton area, like that kind of thing. Like if we have to travel to rehearsal, it is what it is. Like we'll just figure it out if we find that right person. But finding that right person is difficult, man. And, we talk about it all the time, and commitment and time away, and we're older guys. And like I said last show, the kind of music that I'm involved in is not as popular as it was a couple years ago. It's hard, man. It's hard. But the search is on. I'm not giving up. I'm not ready to quit. I'm still screaming my lungs out in my car because I have to try to keep this voice at least a little bit in shape. Because I know I'm going to have a little bit of trouble. All honesty, I'm going to have a little bit of trouble when I do find somebody. So, but that's okay. It is what it is. That's what rehearsing and practice is for. So,
I mean, we talk about it being a different climate for a lot of things, just booking, playing out, things of that nature. But there is a different climate in musicians these days, especially, I mean, it's very popular for players to be in multiple bands, which already eliminates the possibility of their flexibility to add yet another band. Like, I am shocked at a couple guitar players that I just recently spoke to. I mean, they're doing like 4 different projects. Most of them are all cover type stuff. I can see that because with everything written out for you, in a sense, when you're doing cover material, there's less to think about. Okay, here you just got to do this. And for certain players, this is my opinion, and this can be debated, but honestly, I've seen enough of it, that like, say, a drummer in a cover band, you don't have to go beat for beat. You just got to be in the ballpark to keep the song flowing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Even with singing, I mean, actually with anything, like if you generally get into the ballpark of the riff and things like that, but it's already laid out for you. If you read music, well, man, you're way ahead of the curve because, I'm still trying to figure out how to listen to songs with a 35% deaf in one ear, and then like, well, I'll give that. Show me how you did that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I can't hear it. Just show me what to do. To have someone want to commit to an original project that then becomes hopefully busy. Like that was one of our problems pre-COVID, mostly for the singing position because Frankie was in and out more times than Kevin Kline. So we had a lot of fill-ins, and it was always difficult, not necessarily to find a decent singer, but find someone who was willing to put the time in that was needed for what we were doing at the time, because we were that busy. We were always involved in something, on the road, playing out, recording, that kind of thing. So I understand where you're coming from. I've been knocking on wood lately and just holding on tight to the members that I have now, but I've been there so many times, it's a dread. And I have actually talked to myself multiple times saying, if this comes up again, I may have to not hang it up, but I think I'm going to change the scope of things. Like, because you need members to play out.
Yes.
Though there's a couple bands right now out on the circuit where there's only 2 guys. There's the guitar player, singer, and a drummer. There's no bass player. I played with a national, 6-7 months ago. They had no bass player. It was a keyboard player who did some backing vocals, guitar player who I think sang, and a drummer. Now, again, I know with a keyboard player, you can put in that bass feeling and all, but guys are doing it. I've been with bands where it's just one guy and then everything's a backing track except for whatever he's playing. Like we talked about this before, you got to find your way around it. But for recording, well, 3 key points do I need. I need a singer, I need a drummer, and, at least I can kind of muscle my way through guitar and some bass, throw in a little keys here and there, do my Flock of Seagulls impression, and I'm set for recording. But live, it's a different beast. It's tough. It's a tough sell, man. It's a tough sell.
It is, bro. And we've had some local guys from the area that have been very kind to be like, listen, man, you need a drummer for a gig, you need a drummer for a studio. And that's great. You know, maybe the three of us are being a little picky. I don't know. But we're, you know, the conversation we have is we want a full-fledged member. We want someone that is committed to this, right? Like, we want someone that's in the fold and is not just like, I feel that, and nothing against the people that came to us and said they'd fill in. We just felt like if someone comes in and fills in, even if they're as professional as can be, the life's not going to be there. The you know, they may be good enough to do it, they may be good enough to go through with it, but it just lacks that bond that you have in a band. Now maybe I'm just being a little too old school, but when I, you know, growing up, I always pictured when you saw a band like Van Halen, Kiss, there was a Kiss reference, Dokken. To me, in my head, before we learned all this, you looked at them as a brotherhood, right? Like a family, like a gang. Same thing with Twisted Sister, right? Like they presented themselves as a gang of guys that are going to battle for each other. Now you come to find out that there's, you know, nobody was getting along, whatever the case may be. So in my head, that's the vision that I want. A bunch of guys that are fighting for the same thing. They have that brotherhood. They love that music because we were wrapped up in a rehearsal spot for so many hours and tweaking it and writing it. So you want someone that has that same kind of feeling for those songs. And we just look at it as a fill-in, as a guy to get things done. And maybe that's a mistake. Maybe that's something that we should reevaluate as further time goes on. But I don't know, like for us, we're like, no, we want someone that's kind of in the mix that loves these songs the way that we do, right? They're our kids. You know, we want someone that's kind of behind it in that way and not someone to just kind of fill in for it. And,
well, you know, that person could turn a leaf, too. And once they're in, they go, hey, you know, that's...
We've also had that conversation, too. But as you had just said, a lot of these people are in other bands. So are they going to be giving up those other bands? You know what I mean? And especially if they're in a cover band, you know, that's hard to give up, right? Money, playing, you know, easier to play out. You know, so I understand that aspect of it. It's definitely a conversation we've had, but I don't, as of right now, we're still looking for that fourth member, not a one filling guy, you know?
Oh, I get it. Absolutely. I'm cut from that same cloth. Like, I always believed that, you know, there should be this unity, this connectivity with band members, but the reality of it is it's not always easy. And
no.
It's not what we think it is, especially for the long term. People change. We talked about it. Attitudes change. That connectivity changes. I mean, look at Twisted Sister coming back, and the bass player doesn't want anything to do with it, regardless of the payday. And like you and I have talked off air, these guys don't even have to see each other except for the hour that they're on stage. There's nothing that they have to, you know, everything else can be phoned in.
Yeah.
You know, how bad can it be? I don't know. You know, they talked about it. We talked about this before, but it's always kind of baffled me when you read the stories, hear what each member has said, but then you go back and you look over video footage. Like say with Kiss. Oh, everybody, you know, Paul talks about by the end of the 70s when they were doing the movie, nobody was talking to each other and stuff like that. But then Peter leaves, and that was a decision that the three of them were 100% on. And then when they do that, you see that little interview clip where they're introducing Eric Carr down in Australia. I mean, they're all getting along, laughing, you know. I mean, so it doesn't necessarily make sense. Like, did they really hate each other or didn't they hate each other? Were they really talking? Because, believe me, I've been on the road with people that I'm having conflict with, and honestly, I don't get involved in it. I do my job, but you could see the difference. You could feel the difference. And, well, maybe they were intoxicated and that changes their point of view, but still, sometimes that actually would make things worse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I've dealt with band members who have been intoxicated and like you're holding back from punching them out or, you know, losing your cool because you know that this isn't the time to have that discussion. Yeah.
So bizarre, man. It's so bizarre. I just saw an interview with Tommy Lee, and he was, you know, saying how great Vince is, and Vince is this, and back in the day, Vince was, you know, the girl, you know, all the girls and stuff like this, and I'm like, you know, bro, I read your book where you trashed Vince Neil, so do we really stand on Vince Neil here? And like,
didn't he just punch him out 2 years ago or something?
Yeah, like, you know, That's where I stand right now. How about you? What's going on with you? Anything good?
I'm taking a lot of things as they come. I mean, we're staying busy. A lot of stuff is behind the scenes type of thing. I mean, I'm recording new music. I'm redoing older music. I'm going to reissue some albums that have been out of circulation for quite a while, bringing them up to speed with the new band members being a part of those albums, those type of things. Music creation, thankfully, and I've said it before, has never really been an issue, thankfully. But what to do with it afterwards? What do you do? I mean, can't say I have reels and reels now, but I have, backup drives and backup drives of songs that, like, what am I going to do with them? Like, we have 2 albums in the works and a bunch of EPs and singles, and we've even done some more cover songs that we haven't done anything with. We're just sitting on stuff. I have other comics that I'm working on, and we have a Cos biography that we've been working on the last couple years, and we keep halting its release because we'll go, well, it'll work better during this time, and while we're working on this now, let's not get things, and then we're pushing it off to our 15-year anniversary, and we're doing that, and I'm working up on a follow-up book to When We Rocked, and back in the saddle here with the podcast, and we have Hereafter stuff happening, and the music's moving up the charts there with the new label, which is, again, which is shocking because you put stuff out there and you have these hopes, but after 40 years, you're like, it's like a big pipe, right? It's a pipe dream. You go, let's hope, let's hope, let's hope. And then you leave it alone. And then all of a sudden you get this, and nowadays, getting on the charts is not the same thing, in my opinion, as it was, say, in '88. There's so many different charts, independent and whatever. It's exciting to say, and maybe it'll play into our topic today a little bit, but at the same time, and the truth of the matter is, it doesn't generate the same amount or anywhere near the spectrum of successes that being on the charts 40 years ago would have been.
Yeah.
It's awesome to say because that means like somebody else is listening and somebody else it's connecting them with. And that's amazing, right? For any artist, that's what you want to do. But if you take the business side, you're scratching your head going, well, wait a minute. Like, well, why ain't I getting this call? Why isn't this happening? Especially when you're seeing a steady climb. And a steady climb organically, if that even exists today, you can pay to be on charts. I was told, whether it's right or wrong, but I'm going to say it here, I was told by several labels that the Billboard charts all have a price tag. They always did have a price tag.
Yeah.
Radio has a price tag. Real radio has a price tag. And there's a level of charts, and again, I think this is going to play into a little bit of the topic today. There are a level of charts out there, even in some of the independent ones, that it's a basically pay-to-play procedure. And I'm not interested in doing that. I've said this time and time again. I am not looking to make other people rich by making myself poor. And it's easy to do in the music business. And I know some of the bands that are on my label, that's what they're doing. Because they fall into that trap. And once you're there and you're seeing what you think is success, and the truth of the matter is, if you're still playing the same circuit a year after you're being on all these charts and people are talking about you, it's a dead indicator that you're only paying to be there because it hasn't parlayed into anything. Like all of a sudden, if you were in the charts and then you were playing the 5 major festivals and all of a sudden your song is starting to play not only on, say, Sirius XM, but regular real radio, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm talking about. And then there's more of a buzz. But that's the truth. It's not happening that way because this is a different business. The one hand washes the other. Well, you pay for this. This is what you get. As soon as the pay stops, literally everything stops. I mean, it stops. Yeah. Usually there's a trickle-off effect in the old days, right?
No, nothing.
Like,
done.
Like when a movie started to decline, right, it would be in 5 screenings, and then it was down to 3, then it was down to 2. Then you could only watch it, 3 times that week at weird times. And then they play it for, the last 2 weeks. It was on a Wednesday night at 10 p.m. And then it was gone. Then it went to HBO and Prism or something like that, right? But now, say when your promotion stops, it literally 6,000 streams on Tuesday, Wednesday comes 0.
It's 100%, man.
I mean, it's literally they got some guys sitting in a room going, all right, you ready to hit that switch? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, 0. And it's flat lines. Yeah, delete, and it flat lines.
Delete.
So the minor success or awareness that we're receiving in anything that we're doing, especially right now with the Hereafter stuff, and again, not to promote the band or anything, but using it as an example, we're ecstatic about it. And I think it even, man. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think it even shocked the label a little bit. Wait a minute, what happened here? We didn't expect this. We just figured we'd bring you bozos on just to cover some ground. I mean, I have to say, and again, not to promote it, but hey, check it out if you want. This EP is a culmination of the time we've been working together, that now I think we've starting to hit the mark of that aggressive sound that we were putting together. That's just me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I agree.
At least that's what Bert told me, so I don't know.
It's Ross the Boss.
Take it down.
Johnny D from Brittany Fox.
Stephen Pearson from Rat, the Rat Bastard. You're listening to the Cosmick Voice.
All right, man, let's get into the topic of the show. So the topic of this show is, are reviews worth it? Are they even needed? Do they make a difference? Do they make sense? What do you think, buddy? Are reviews worth it?
I was thinking about this, once we decide on what today's topic's going to be. And I will say this, I still feel that reviews are, I don't know if I want to say needed. I don't know if reviews are needed, but I believe that it helps, even in this day and age. But here's the problem, and I've been seeing this lately, especially in the past few days once we said we were doing this for an episode. I was kind of paying attention to some bands that I follow and the reviews that they've shared, that they've gotten. I've had a couple of them. And I look at the reviews, and this is the thing of social media. This is an ongoing issue. We've talked about it before. I see these reviews of bands that I follow, and they're great reviews. And then I go to the review page, or the person that did the review, like their company or whatever it is. We'll just call it a company for lack of a better word. Nothing comes of it. There's no likes, maybe 1 or 2. There's no shares except for maybe what the bands do. Perfect example. A bunch of friends of mine, they're out of the New York area. They got this distro record deal, and they've gotten some really good promotion on it. And, they got this review, a really good review, and the band shared it. And I messaged the guitar player because he was an old friend of mine. We were in the same band together many years ago. And I was like, hey, man, a really great review. I really like it. Congratulations on all the album success. And, it's really doing good for them. And it is a great record. Anyway, not to get sidetracked. So I read the review. The review is really good. And then I go to the reviewer's page because at this point, you and I have already spoken about what we're going to do for today's episode. And I go, nobody liked this. How many people saw it? I saw it. I shared it because it's, a friend of mine, of course. His band shared it, and then there's only 4 guys in that band, so, you get 4 or 5 shares. Maybe 1 or 2 of their good friends shared it. And I go, man, this is a great review, but who sees it? Nobody's seen it because nobody's interacting. Now, sure, you could say, well, maybe people read it and don't, like it or love it or care or, angry face, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But then I scroll down on the guy's page, and none of his reviews got any activity. Nothing. And he had, probably good I think it was 1.6, maybe 1.4 thousand followers, and that's not bad. All his reviews were really good of all the records he did, which, whatever, but there's nothing to it. And no offense to this guy, it's because it's just not how social media works. he's doing his best. He's putting out great reviews. He did his homework. He bought the record, because he talks about the design and the cover and the inlay and all that stuff. So he did his homework, but no likes. And I go, do reviews really matter then? It's great for the band. It's great for the band to share. And I'm happy. And listen, this isn't, my buddy's band from New York. Like, this isn't the first time that I've seen this. It's just now that I knew we were talking about it, I was kind of a little more in tune with it. And I go, man, do reviews really matter, Mick? I mean, listen, again, and not to keep promoting it, but here and after, we've gotten some decent reviews. I'm very happy about it. I've also gotten, and I'm sure you have also through the years, we've also gotten bad reviews, and I'm okay with it. Whatever it is, what it is. It's personal, it's somebody's opinion. But if it's a good review, you want everybody to say it, right? But in the days of social media, who sees it? I don't know. Nobody's buying magazines anymore. Like, I follow Rolling Stone and Variety and, all these big old school magazines, Entertainment Weekly, whatever. Like, I follow all that, and I like to read reviews, and I don't know if it matters. I don't know if it matters. The only thing I can say when it comes to reviews, honestly, that I see a difference, movies. Streaming movies. Not going to the movie theater. Streaming movies. That's the only time I see reviews get any kind of traction. But we're a music podcast. So music? I don't know, man. I don't know. I do think reviews are good to have because you could put them in your bio. You could put them on your website. Like, that's always right. Like, you've gotten a lot of great reviews on the book. We just talked about that the last episode. And that's great because you could use that to further the book. Same thing. You could use it to further your band. But does anybody see it? Now, I don't know. You may have a different outlook because of the book's success. Have you seen that your reviews for the book have helped you in those sales or to get the word out? But for bands, I don't know, man, because I don't know who's really reading those reviews, to be honest. And according to my buddy's band from New York and his reviews, nobody saw it because there was no likes. He got more likes on his personal page by sharing it than the actual reviewer did on his page where he had 1,000+ followers.
Well,
what do you think?
I'm not a fan of reviews. Never have been.
Really?
Yeah, never have been. Never have been. And before I get to that, so yeah, just to give you an idea. So on Google, the AI or whatever it is, the Google, here's what it says when you put in, "Are music reviews worth it?" Just so we get a bigger scope. It says, independent music reviews play a crucial role in the modern music industry. They provide a platform for emerging artists and help listeners discover new music. These reviews are unbiased and offer an honest assessment of the quality and impact of a song or album. But it's a common question. It's a common question. And you're going to get, depending on when some of these, say, articles or, blogs were written, is it important or not? Do they have value? Do they have purpose? Especially when new music comes out. My opinion is this. I've had good reviews. I've had bad reviews. Had a lot of bad reviews. Unfortunately, a lot of the bad reviews that I've had, some of them just didn't make sense. And that's not to defend the music, but what I'm saying is the way they write, because you'll have someone who gives a negative review, but they're saying these positive things and then they tear you down. Or they're not a fan of that music. And we had a lot of that in the early days because of our music being so niche. We often were reviewed by different genre type reviewers or critics that didn't like the music anyway. So they had a problem with it. Yeah. Again, maybe some of the music was bad. I don't know. Regardless. Then there's people that will only talk about the production and actually don't talk about the song because they don't understand songs. And a lot of times you'll get reviewers that aren't musicians. And that doesn't mean that they have to be musicians and doesn't mean that they can't appreciate the music. But sometimes they comment on things that maybe they don't really understand themselves. Reviews are no different than someone's opinion. You like it, you don't like it. Just like us, right? We give people our opinion, and that's all really it is. That's all a review is. So you have to, I think, one, especially as an artist, because early on, some of those reviews, I mean, they kind of rocked me. I'm like, well, man, that's not what I was trying to do. And because most artists, I really do believe, especially on the independent, they're putting their best foot forward. At least they're doing the best that they can. And their intention is always to make the best thing that they can. They're doing whatever they can. And they believe in that enough to move forward. whether it is or not, that's not for us to necessarily judge. I had mentioned this multiple times before. I was a reviewer for a large metal magazine online for a while. I struggled with it. I struggled with it because I always tried to find the positive in everything. Whether I liked it or not, I was assigned and took assignments of not just things that I liked, but I wanted to get more diverse. And where the editor came back to me multiple times and says, hey, listen, we need you to kind of maybe throw some negatives in there. Really, get people to pay attention. Because if it's always positive, because sometimes the negativity draws people. Bro, I just couldn't do it. I tried, never did, and I wound up kind of leaving that position. I was appreciative of it, but I couldn't do that. As a musician, negative for the sake of negative just doesn't seem...
Right.
Just doesn't seem to be something that, we should be trying to do. So I moved on. In recent time, and by recent time, I mean at least, maybe the past 5-7 years or so, a lot of reviews don't hold the same water because people are paying for reviews.
Right.
That's why you're not seeing a large interaction with them, because they are paid. Listen, I interview artists. I don't charge for interviews. I think it's silly because it's something I want to do. Why would I charge an artist? Okay?
Right.
But there are, 95% of people out there, or not people, or maybe organizations or rags of online content. Again, it's a pay to play. You want an interview? Here's what we can do for you. You want this? Here's what we can do for you. This is what it costs. And this is oftentimes why you see not a lot of traction, because there's no reason for that interviewer, that reviewer, or that online rag to promote it, because you've already paid for it. They made their money.
Right.
All you're doing is you just bought a little bit of space, cyberspace. Now, is it nice to have some reviews? Yes. As part of your portfolio. I think it's good to have a couple in there. But be honest, you could hire a staff writer and write up some of your own reviews.
I mean,
right? Or you get 3 of your fans and say, hey, we'll send you out a free, CD or whatever it is, give you some MP3s. Let us know what you think. And take that. Because at least that's a fair, honest assessment than somebody who has a list and has to get through 5 of them today.
You're right.
Listen, a lot of the labels today, they're in cahoots with all these other guys. They're charging bands, you want part of your promo package? It's going to cost you, the promo package is $1,500 and we've split it down the middle. You pay $750, we pay $750. How do you know they really pay $750?
Yeah.
You're paying $750 because you just sold your couch, your dog, and now you're sleeping and watching TV in the doghouse out in the yard because you had to put the $750 out, right? So your end was covered, but how do you know that it didn't cost them $350 and they just pocketed it? Right? The rest of the money. And you don't know. We've talked about this, I think, in the first couple seasons about, these PR companies, and half the time you find out that you have a better list than they do.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Like we talked about before going into the topic, Tuesday, you got 6,000 streams. Come Wednesday, when the promotion stops, it goes to 0. And it happens the same way with these reviews. So you got to take them with a little grain of salt. Here's my opinion. When it's a little bit more real, valid, legit, maybe some substance, or could have demonstrate a little leg, is when they come to you. That means you've created enough buzz through some of the promotion that you're doing that somebody goes, I'd like to check this out.
Yeah.
And they're doing it the traditional way. Hey, we're trying to let the community know what's happening here. Because in turn, a good story helps a reviewer, an interviewer, a reporter move up the ladder. Right? Yeah. Because paying for it is a guy in his basement eating Cheetos, real good with the computer, and his PayPal account keeps beeping. Oh, there's $5 there, there's $10 there, there's and at the end of the week, he can buy more Cheetos. Yeah. Now, listen, I don't mind Cheetos. I don't really eat them that often, but, maybe once or twice a year I'll have a little handful or something, but that's about it. But to me, that's where I have my issue with reviews. Now, music reviews, I have not had a music review officially in years. The other thing that I don't like about music reviews is when a guy or whoever goes, oh, we don't accept MP3s, you have to send the CD. Oh, really? I do? Because then I run the risk of you pirating my stuff. Not like it's that big of a deal, but the point is, it's principle. Yeah. A CD costs me money.
Yeah, it's true.
So, that's a red flag, in my opinion. Especially nowadays, they don't even want you to send... Real reviewers, please don't send MP3s unless they request it personally. Please don't just send MP3s into my mailbox. It clogs up thing. Send me a link to a Dropbox, Google Drive, WeTransfer, something like that, because they want to be able to get to it, and they want to know that it's safe.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is you have to take into consideration the reviewers, the people that are actually doing the review. Like, what credentials did they have?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that people can't make a proper assessment, but you got to sometimes take that with a grain of salt, too. If the editor of Rolling Stone magazine gives you a review, well, there's a little different. There's some clout. There's somebody who's in, even though that's debatable, too, if you talk to Paul Stanley and everybody else in that camp.
Listen.
Right? But at the same time, there's a difference there, right? Like if Metal Edge pick you up, and I'm sure back then there was a little pay to play too. Maybe you give a white bag of something and some visitors at night. I don't know. There probably was that happened. But if the guy is a tire salesman during the day, fry cook in the early evenings, and then he's writing reviews at night as a side gig, again, I don't know. Maybe I've been there. Not that I sold tires. I used to put tires on cars, but in some ways, will that tire work? Yeah, sure. It's round. It's round. And you believe that these are going to be unbiased, but not all the time. And of course, if you're paying for them, you shouldn't be paying for negative reviews.
It's right.
Right? So if you're paying for them, you are going to get a positive review. But how positive is it? And that we're oversaturated already? Like you said it. Who's reading them? Who's reading them? A book, slightly different, but kind of virtually the same. There's a little bit more tangibility to some books, especially if that's all you offer it in. Sure, they have PDFs and the Kindle, but there's still that group of individuals that read books. I think the individuals who actually read books, actual books, is still higher than the people that buy physical music.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
I mean, because when you have mega stores like Barnes & Noble still in existence, where they're selling books, even in today, schools that are on pads and computers, they still hand out books. There's still a level of book that is present.
Yeah.
So that printing is still happening. However, CDs, like, besides like these niche stores that also sell every bobblehead in the world and t-shirt and horror thing, but there are combination stores where they have music and movies and paraphernalia and stuff like that. They're almost more collectible stores than record stores like that we know of.
Yeah.
Of course you have your vinyl and stuff like that, which also have a section for CDs and stuff. But really, how many CD stores are out there?
Slim to none.
Slim to none.
You are listening to the Cosmick Voice with your hosts, Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels.
I'm hard-pressed on it. I'm not a big fan of the critics and the music reviews. I'm more interested in seeing what fans have to say. And I have to say this, that using the promotion of the book as an example, most of the promotion that I've done, actually probably all of the promotion that I've done, that I include quotes or comments or reviews, came from people who read the book. Bought the book, read the book. Put something on Amazon, put something on their own page, like something you did or somebody that was in the book did. And if they didn't like the book, they didn't put anything out.
Right.
So to me, that's more of organic, real reviews from somebody who got something out of it rather than just some money. That's my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
Do they look good on your page? Yeah, sure. Chris, the truth of the matter is, like P.T. Barnum said, there's an ASS for every seat. So there's going to be a percentage of people. What that percentage is, I don't know. It's probably not more than 10%, I would imagine, especially because of the traction you're not getting with these reviews.
Yeah.
That take those reviews and go, oh, look at that. This magazine wrote a thing. And that's just enough to spark a small interest. But you're not talking mega sales, a mega turnover. You're talking, maybe 1, 2, 3, 10 if you're lucky. But honestly, it doesn't happen like that, man. the best till this day is still word of mouth. Yeah, you got to check this band out, man. You got to check this band out.
Especially in our community of heavy metal. And now, with streaming, if a new record comes out, people just click a button.
Right.
And they listen to it.
Right. The other thing that's happening, too, with reviews, with everything now, with YouTube channels, with podcasts, with those little, what do they call them, reels or whatever, everybody's doing opinion copying. They wait till one or two people do something, and then all they do is regurgitate what they say. And you're hearing the same information because everybody's just building content. That's it.
Yep.
The more content you have,
yeah.
the more you show up on the analytics or whatever they're called when Google, or SEO, or I don't even know what the hell any of that stuff is. But that's the whole point. So everybody's copying something, like some people have done after listening to this show. Oh! Anyway, that's what happens. And they get the bigger numbers. Dun, dun, dun. Honestly, ask yourself, be honest, has there been a review that's ever taken you, again, in the old days, if you showed up on the local 11 o'clock news, the next day your phone was ringing like mad.
Yeah. Yep.
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore.
No.
It just doesn't happen that way. I've had fantastic show reviews, not even inquiring about them. Like, they would just show up and I'm like, oh, wow, somebody actually, and we were included in it. Like, wow, this is amazing. And then crickets. Somebody was moved enough to make a review about a show. Maybe this is what they do. Maybe they're trying to break in the industry, whatever, like photographers do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they're out there, they're shooting bands, they're trying to build up a repertoire, catalog of stuff. They're working their chops. And that's exactly what bands are doing. They're playing shows and they're working their chops and they're figuring out their whole routine. But sometimes it never comes. And sooner or later, you'll get that email or that message from a photographer or a video recorder or some guy who's recording the music that night because he's part of the sound guy. Hey, we're going to be there for $50. I can shoot the band on top of the, well, reviewers do the same thing. It just becomes the thing. So,
yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm all about someone trying to create something, if you're out there, like, that the gentleman that reviewed my buddy's band, like, he's out there trying to do something positive or being a creator. But like you said, I don't know what that gets anybody at the end of the day. Like, I don't know how many streams it gets. I don't know how many CDs it sells. I can honestly say I don't remember like any of my numbers going up because I got a good review. Again, it was just, we got a good review and we liked it and we enjoyed it and we were happy about it. But I don't know if it ever did anything for us.
Exactly. You're the only person that can answer that, like for you. And I can answer it for me. And I'm going to tell you, it's never done much in terms of like a CD review. I'll give you an example. Our second album that we're in the process of redoing to reissue, it's been out of print for a very long time. It got blasted. There wasn't one decent review when it first came out. People had problems with it, the way it was mixed or recorded, never really said anything about the songs. And this is why I had such a hard time with it. And it was at a time when the music that we were playing was just non-existent. It was dead.
Yeah.
The thing I knew that like these critics were just like, in my opinion, were way out because we played about 4 of those songs in our set and people seemed to love them. So I said, we're just going to keep playing them live. The heck with the album, the heck with the, we also went with a concept album. I don't know, Delusions of Grandeur for sure. Like we needed our music from the Elder and we had to do it our second album. Again, too many hands in the soup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that happens.
And it happens real easy. Oh yeah, let's do that. So anyway, the album was pulled, but we continued till this day. We still play several songs from the album and people love it. So back in 2016, we redid 5 of the songs and we put them on a compilation. People loved it. So whether it was copying at that time, it was... And I did find out that some of the MP3s that these reviewers were hearing were horrible sounding.
Oh, okay.
And I remember one reviewer talked about the album and mentioned songs that weren't even on the album. So I'm not sure what they were listening to, but I went along with it, and I fixed problems on our end so that wouldn't happen again. However, how true was it? How true were they?
Yeah.
Is it just somebody who's looking for negativity? Did they not like the music? Did they have a bad day that day? Were there no Cheetos at the AM PM? I don't know. So, but I'll tell you, your best review, and I'm going to say it again, your best review comes from the fans that come to see you, because they'll tell somebody else, and in that live setting, they bring somebody else. And you've had it too. I know you have. Many of us have.
Yeah.
Time and time. I brought my buddies to check you out. I told so-and-so. I got some people coming. And that's, in my opinion, where it really counts. It's just much harder now to make that happen because of how the scene is. So that's my opinion. What do you got? You got anything else?
No, man. No. I will say this real quick, because you had said something about sometimes reviewers just don't like really pay attention. Again, it's other people's opinions, and I totally respect them. Somebody once said in a review that I sound like a young Rob Halford.
Nice.
And I'm like,
that's what you should have on your Facebook page.
I'm like, I sound nothing like a young Rob. I appreciate it, and I mean, I can't, I love the compliment. Then I got reviewed one time as I have a mixture sound between Sam Kinison and Meatloaf. I'm like, now that makes more sense to me than a young Rob Halford.
There you go. Listen, we
that
were compared.
I'm totally okay.
We were compared to ZZ Top once. And I think in the same review, it was ZZ Top and Anthrax. Now, listen, I'll take whatever. If they said we sounded like Weird Al Yankovic, that's good enough for me. I don't care. But ZZ Top, I'm not even sure we're in the same spectrum. So that's what I mean. Some of these reviews, you just got to take with a grain of salt. How catastrophic is that? But whatever. Man, these guys sound just like Madonna, just a little heavier.
Did you guys have fuzzy guitars? And I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's always been the beard thing.
Yeah, it's always been a beard thing, but nothing too.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, man, that's, reviews are, I don't know what that answer is. Obviously, only you know what that answer is as an artist, and it's always great to get good reviews. Like, I'm definitely not downing on them, and it's okay to get bad reviews. And that's just, how it is. Listen, at the time of recording this, I heard Taylor Swift's got some not so great reviews on her new record, and I mean, it is what it is, because she's probably sold 1 trillion copies and she don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, but even like she put out a statement where she's like, listen, this is my art, and if you don't like it, then that's okay. And it is. If you don't like what we do, then that's okay. But I don't know if it matters other than personal
validity
achievements. Yeah, like personal achievements that you go, man, we put the work in, somebody really liked it, and that's awesome. That's a cool thing. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't know if it actually matters.
If the reviews come in organically, grassroots, not a problem. One way or the other, like Chris said, good or bad. But if you got to pay for them, I'd avoid it like the plague.
Oh, yeah.
Don't 100%. Pay for reviews. It's not worth it. Even if it is a good review, write it yourself. That's the way I look at it. Don't even do that.
No.
If you like that episode, check out some of our other episodes at www.thecosmickvoice.com. Step into the Cosmickverse. You'll never have to pay a subscription fee. Thanks so much for listening. This is the Cosmick Voice. If you have a question, a topic idea, or something you want us to address, just contact us through our Facebook page at The Cosmick Voice. You can listen to The Cosmick Voice at Spotify, Breaker, Apple, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, and at thecosmicview.com. Check us out on Facebook at The Cosmick Voice.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, Mick and I would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes of The Cosmick Voice. And you can get in touch with us through thecosmickvoice.com and, of course, all of the Cosmick Voice social medias. Take care and be safe.
You're listening to the Cosmick Voice. Music, talk, and nothing but business.